So in the process of messing this up over and over, I figured out exactly how to do it. 986 Porsche Boxster, replacing the rear strut, and how to deal with these aluminum components. They can be, you can't bang and beat on them like you can a big truck. Thing to do, mark your bolts for your alignment adjusters on your lower control arm and your tailing arm. It's not necessary to remove that adjusting bolt to put the strut and the wheel bearing in, but I'm going to be replacing that piece. Next, take the axle nut out, 32 millimeter. Split this ball joint. If you drive the tuning fork in there, it's going to tear up the rubber there. So if you want to save this piece, this is how you do it. Now I'm going to remove that bolt. It's very important that the bolt head side remains stationary. And you need to unscrew the nut on the back side. Don't try to turn this. It's only for adjustment. If you start trying to hold the back one still and spin in the front one, it'll tear up the bolt. If you're not replacing this piece, you can just pull it. Like, it's difficult. You can pull it pried out of there and leave that bolt in place. And after you get the nut off, you need to go ahead and remove this washer that's behind the nut. And the cam adjuster is part of the bolt on this side. You can make it slip through those grooves if you try to turn the whole thing. You probably will have to turn it to get the cam on the side where it will come out. You got to undo the turnbuckle up there under the behind the gear shifter under that panel, and take the parking brake cables loose. Next thing to do is to remove the parking brake cable from the turnbuckle there. It's right under that your console. It's a rubber mat, and then a plate, a plastic plate with one bolt. All right, I got that backed off, and then there's a clip right there. I got to remove that clip, and then the cable comes around to right here, and that'll be it here, and then I'll pull the cable through. I end up having to take the turnbuckle all the way out off the adjustment rod, because that clip there, there's one on the bottom too, and the way it was laying in there, I couldn't get under there and undo that clip. That was a little bit challenging getting both sides unclipped. Wasn't too bad though. Next, we're going to take this torsion arm off. 2 bolts. Flip that clip up and unplug these. They're different, so they'll only go back where they came out of. That's your brake, the brake wear sensor, and this is your wheel speed sensor. Remove that bolt on your bracket for your brake lines. Now take the 2 Allen head nuts on the caliper off and zip tight to that bracket right there, so it'll be out of the way. All right, next is the lower control arm. Because I don't want to damage that boot, I'm not going to put the tuning fork in there. I'm going to take the cam bolt loose and bring the lower control arm out with the hub, and at that point we can get it out with that axle out of the way. Again, here, hold the bolt, take the nut off. All right, next is the sway bar link. That's actually what holds the shock on. Remove the 2 small screws and take the rotor off. Take 2 of these bolts completely off and leave the 3rd one a little loose. This is your top. Goes on there like that. You have this plastic and the rubber. You can see where the spring sat in the rubber. And you can also see the indentations where the plastic piece met the rubber. So with the tension let almost all the way off these spring compressors, there we go. All right, everything's lined up.